So, let's see what Bellular has to say about Stormblood. I finished Stormblood. Here's my honest opinion.
People do generally say that it's below Heavensward and below Shadowbringers. Stormblood 4.0. All right. People do generally say that it's below Heavensward and below
spoilers. You're warned.
And in fairness, I would say that people are spot on with that. You see, Stormblood, in at least my experience so far, it is massively ambitious. And with that ambition does come some issues.
Yeah.
Now that said, the big moments are still really big moments. The MSQ does have its high points, and when it has them, they are great. I mean, they really are great.
In case anybody is curious, in my opinion, Stormblood, one of Stormblood's biggest problems is that it is a massive lull at the very beginning of Stormblood. It really takes a lot before it gets going. A lot. And on top of that, they add a water zone, and the first two zones, I don't know, there's something about those first two zones because of the fact that they're segmented off. You can't get like all of the ether currents. It just feels like you're limited in so many different ways in those first two zones that you walk into when it comes to Stormblood. I forget what the name is of the very first zone that you go into, the one where after you assault the castrum, whatever, and the stuff that happens at the end of Heavensward. And then the other zone that you go into, the Ruby Sea. The Ruby Sea in particular, good God, I'm sorry. Ruby Sea was terrible. Like, as a zone, I hate Ruby Sea. I can't stand Ruby Sea. Like, I can't do it. I just can't do Ruby Sea at all. So yeah. It's like the story in Ruby Sea is fine, but actually navigating the zone, I did not like it at all. I thought it was terrible. But yeah.
What it is, though, is a bit held back by pacing and then the immense challenge of splitting this story across Doma and Alamigo. Each one needing its cast of characters, and all of that while they have to take you through each of the new zones. And this does mean that while the story leads to great places and has great bits, the connective tissue can suffer a bit. There's maybe a bit more mixed pacing, and some characters feel a bit underdeveloped and oddly paced in their arcs. So yeah, there is a little bit to criticize. We will talk about that, but there is also so much to praise and so many elements that I love. And by the way, we unveiled our game, The Pale Beyond, properly yesterday.
Shameless
with the
plug.
reveal trailer and the announcement that we are being published by Fellow Traveler. Now, if you want to help us out, the best thing you could do would be to share our trailer and also to wishlist our game on Steam.
I already did this.
The wish lists are super awesome, so if the game seems up your alley, if you want a single-player RPG, then I would really, really appreciate it. It's something we've been working towards for a long time. But of course, you are here for Stormblood, so let's talk Stormblood.
Environment and setting. I like the setting.
I mean, goddamn.
Kugane is awesome.
What an incredible city. You can tell they're not held back by...
The Namazus can go die in a fire, for all I care, though. I hate the Namazu. I know that that's like not a popular opinion or whatever. I don't like the Namazu. I can't stand the Namazu. And if I could, I would obliterate all of them from the game.
By the PS3 anymore. And visiting where our free company estate has been all this time was really a treat. But with Kugane, I mean, goddamn, the scale is immense. The colors are so vibrant, especially with G-Shade, and the music. I mean, I know I haven't talked about it enough. The music in this game is absolutely masterful, and I just loved Kugane. I loved every second in it. And now that I'm done 4.0, I really hope the patch MSQ has me spending more time in Kugane. It's one of my favorite places in the game. Beyond that, honestly, I pretty much love the other zones. I mean, Alamigo's areas felt really just well realized, and especially like the richness of Rhalgar's Reach. I mean, the clear
Reach.
Inspirations from Petra in Jordan. I mean, just look at that place. It's real, and it's in Jordan. It's so cool. And I love that vibe. Even just like the scale of Alamigo City proper. Especially when you're up in the gardens at the end of MSQ. I mean, god damn, that is just pretty. But hey, I generally do like areas like that. I love Alamigo. I'm pretty
Kai Mirai, Rurikhan, which DPS do you think is the easiest rotation? Samurai.
much always would have, I think.
No,
just based
wait. No. I thought you meant melee DPS. If you mean overall DPS, I hear it's Dancer, but I've never played Dancer, so I'm not sure. But everybody says that it's Dancer.
some theme. And then we head to Doma. Again, oh, it's really strong. I'd say, okay, the Ruby Isles are just okay. But to me, the other zones were just perfect. I mean, the ambience, the music, the art direction, the scale. While questing in some of these zones may not always be a thrill, they were always lovely, lovely to be.
I love this zone, by the way. The Azim Steps, I like them a lot. I like the Azim Steps a lot because Azim Steps is when Stormblood started clicking for me. And also, Azim Steps is where one of the best quests in the game is. If you know what I mean.
And
I forget, everybody here plays Final Fantasy XIV. Azim Steps is where you eventually get to face Rathalos.
I mean, I know they're very fictionalized, but I remember reading is it Connor Gulden? It's like a fictionalized, I mean, I know his name's not pronounced Genghis properly, but you know, his sort of rise fictionalized. And just going through the more sort of Mongolia-inspired zone almost took me back to reading those books as a kid. So for me, you know, the zones, the world of Stormblood.
Dude, I'll tell you what, the music of Final Fantasy XIV is so impressive that I just hear certain tunes and it just straight up takes me back. Like, you know, it's so good. As a matter of fact, it's like even just listen to like Stormblood has one of the tunes that really stayed with my head is like this one. Let me see if I don't actually know the name. There's so many tunes that I love in 14 that I don't actually know the names, but I know how to find them. Watch Stormblood boss music. This should do it. Let's see. I think it's this one. It's this one. Isn't this so good, dude? It's so incredible. Like, and this was a music that, like, the first time I heard it, I was like, I don't know how I feel about this. But then after listening to it, it just like, particularly it has this start that it takes a while to get going. But once it gets going, it's so good, dude. It feels so good. The progression of this music is so goddamn good. I love it. And I've never forgotten about it. It's that good. It's not insatiable, all right? It's not insatiable, but it's really fucking good, especially now. Na 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 na. It's so good. Storm of blood. So fucking good. I fucking love it, dude. It's too good. Which is why it's like if you listen to the music in the Endwalker, the first Endwalker trailer, you know, and when you get to this one, and then there's just like the dude actually singing "Storm of blood, born from blood of our fallen brothers." It's really good. God damn. Every time I hear this, I remember I need to fight Xeno many times. Yeah.
Absolutely loved. Now, that said, we should talk about the meat, the MSQ.
Overall thoughts and experience.
The first thing to talk about is definitely motivation. And you'll know, I think, this in the last video I did in my FF journey, but the end of Heavensward, right? Like, holy shit.
Yeah.
You know, Papolino, Lise, everything. I mean, you just feel so damn well motivated. And what I love too, I mean, this expansion is really dealing with Ilbert in a way. Like, he's dead, but we're dealing with what he set into motion. And of course, Ilbert is a character whose betrayal was so perfectly orchestrated in A Realm Reborn. And I get more and more appreciation of A Realm Reborn as I go through the subsequent MSQ, because you can just see how much was really set up there. Yep. I mean, Yugiri as well, of course, set up in A Realm Reborn MSQ. But man, just that like motivation. You really feel pumped to get into these stories. You have been hearing about Alamigo for so damn long. You've been hearing about Doma for ages. The Garleans, like it's all just perfect. And then Lise. Lise also is a pretty much perfectly motivated character with a really nice reveal of who she actually is.
Delete Lise.
Now with Lise, there is certainly more stuff to talk about because I know that Lise is one of the more mixed characters out there. A lot of people would kind of prefer Ida to have just stayed. We'll get to that. But really, I mean, man, just that oh shit moment with Ilberd, that really does just set it all up. And that's why when you go into the initial Alamigo questing, you're just like, holy shit, Ilberd's just done this. Omega and the big primal have went off. That's spooky. And now Roban is coming to reclaim his homeland at the head of the Alliance, and we're going to do a big war. And you are so pumped. And then it's a bit of a drag for a bit. Now, Relger's Reach, where it gets to in that first arc in Alamigo, where Relger's Reach falls to the Garleans, I mean, that's set piece perfection. Like, again, it's almost like with 2.5. You know, you expect to be thwarted. You expect to be messed up a bit. But you get absolutely whacked. And in a way that it feels, it's not what you expect, but it's not
Look
unexpectable.
At these cutscenes, dude.
You know, that sounds a weird way of putting it. I suppose it just does feel real, and it makes the Garleans feel actually bloody dangerous. And then, of course, Xenos, your first introduction to him, fighting him, you know, and just I think the Empire cast is...
Fordola is a better character than Lise.
Okay, initially seeming one note, but really quite fun. You know, from our leader of the Skulls to Xenos and Yatsuru, everyone.
I will say, like, you guys are commenting on Bellular's G-Shade. He took G-Shade a little bit too far, okay, Bellular? You dialed the knob of G-Shade and it's like, listen, if there's a scale on G-Shade which goes like 1 to 10, you dialed it to 50, okay? You need to dial that back a little bit, all right? Your G-Shade, it's really taking me out of the experience, all right, dude? Like, fucking, what the hell, dude? Bellular you went a little bit too far with G-Shade. I've used G-Shade. My G-Shade did not fucking look like that, okay? When I used G-Shade, it added more vibrance and all of that shit without, you know, just like fucking, it looks a little bit too much. They are presetted. I use them as well. Well, yes, there's presets, but I adjusted my preset. But he kind of like, he went too far with his G-Shade.
Just, they're not the most deep at the start, but...
It's almost like, you know, when somebody's like fixing a meal and you know, they got the salt shaker and they're putting salt, but the lid comes off and it's like, that's what he did with G-Shade. He's just like, he's got this salt shaker and it spilled and he's like, oh, fuck, I'll add some sugar to kind of make up for it. So then he spilled a bunch of sugar on it as well and like stir-fried the shit. But it didn't work, okay? The end result was not fantastic.
They are fun characters to have around, I suppose. But anyway, so you get through a bit of a slog with Alamigo. You've got your incredible big like set piece where you really get whacked, and then you go to Kugane. And Kugane is just absolutely goddamn gorgeous, as I have said. It's just great. And that's where the pacing is a bit more strong. And as you go into Doma,
I don't think it's the red coat. I know that we're just talking about G-Shade at this point. I need to stop. But like, I feel like his game looks way blurrier for some reason. I don't know what it is, what setting he fucked with. But his game, like, the game doesn't look this blurry. The game does not look as blurry as Bellular has it.
I think you get lots of cool world building on Garlean oppression.
Yes, you do.
But the pacing does end up being a bit of a drag, I will say. And sometimes you do retread themes. I mean, in both cases, you have a situation where the populace really doesn't want to rise up because those are the Garleans. They're really dangerous.
Mess us up, yeah.
And I like that more grounded approach to a sort of a rebellion storyline. You know? I think that's a really good thing to do because
it's based in reality.
We look back at rebellions and things like that with a very different lens to how they're experienced at the time. I mean, as an example, like one thing, take the Easter Rising in Ireland, where we're from. That's something that is, very, very much remembered for what it was today. And one of the things when you go through your history classes, you learn that, in Dublin, there was lots of people who were for it, but there was also lots of people who really weren't for that sort of thing going on and probably, don't want the disruption and the danger and all of that. And I just like how the stories of rebellion were handled here in Stormblood.
They do a good job.
In a way that felt authentic to the realities of actually being a person living in that kind of oppressed society. So I thought that was a really, really strong point of world building that I liked a lot. They sort of had to repeat that beat in both areas, which did make that a strong beat, but I think could have had some pacing issues. And on pacing, sometimes primals can feel like a diversion. A little bit. Now, they're always fun fights, and they're always worth having. But at least with the first one in Stormblood, did feel like a little bit of a diversion when really my character was...
Dude, but it's like, it's such... The thing is, it breaks up the pacing. That was like... It's almost like by the time that I was going through the Ruby Sea, I'm not even kidding. I was probably playing the game like this. And then I got to like the first primal fight and I was like, oh shit, this is cool. Oh fuck, I'm gonna hold this big parry. Yeah, parry the sword. And it's like, that like woke me up from the snooze fest that is the Ruby Sea. So yeah, you can say that they're a little bit distracting, but thank fucking God for that distraction. Like thank fucking God for that primal, dude. That primal probably saved my sanity, dude. Give me more like that. Yeah, more Susano, dude. Susano is fucking awesome. The big sword moment is amazing, dude. It's one of the most marking things of the whole Stormblood experience.
It's just like, we gotta go to the Liberation Front. We've gotta go and liberate Doma. Let's go. Okay, we gotta do the thing with the primal first. I mean, that's no biggie, and it was a fun fight.
Goddamn right it was.
But generally, that sameness, quite a lot of going around doing similar things in different places. That is a little bit more of a weak point, and it is one that does continue as you get into Doma proper and you're helping the Resistance front. But then, that said, they do have some better bits, like even the little blow dart mini game with Yugiri into the base infiltration, then leading to the showdown with Xenos. Because the showdown with Xenos was excellent. I mean, he's a little bit one-dimensional right now, but he's quite fun. He's just one of those villains who he's on screen and he's fun. And he's a bit over the top in his ways. But of course you hear what the Emperor has to say about him towards the very end of MSQ and you're like, okay, there could be more going on here. But he's a fun character to have around. He's a fun showdown to have. And they actually do successfully make you feel like a wimp compared to him. And I think that is a good thing. I mean, man, keeping the power of the Warrior of Light in check must be a really hard job from a narrative perspective. Anyway, from him, we go to basically Mongolia. And as I sort of covered earlier, it's that thing where I loved everything apart from the questing. I loved the music. Just the visuals, even though it's like not the most intricate zone ever, the big expanses, it felt like you're there on the steppe.
It's a good zone, dude.
I really liked it.
Did he do Rathalos? Do you guys think he did Rathalos?
I will admit.
Do you guys think he did Rathalos?
It does lead up to
Did you do Rathalos,
final
Bellular?
duty.
Come on, dude.
And that final duty was fantastic. And it was really nice to see them put in just a few more gameplay elements in it as well. And then, of course, your man, the big funny man from the Garlean Empire comes in at the end and you sort of slap him down again. But that was a really awesome duty, and I really like how they use duties to highlight the endpoints. Also some nice quiet moments, when you're there with the mole by the campfire and just learning a bit about the culture of the different tribes, and all of that just felt very cozy. So I really appreciated that, even though the pacing was a bit of a drag. I'd broadly say then that everything from Doma Castle onward was excellent. I just had a great time with.
Dude,
it's just
Doma
that thing.
Castle
The pieces
really
come together. And toward the end, they come together just fantastically. for Stormblood.
Assault on Doma Castle is like the big set piece. It really just like pushes everything forward. Like, interestingly enough, I felt very emotional during a cutscene that probably most people didn't even think twice about, which is when all of the tribes of Azim are like coming together to assault the castle, and you see like whatever his face, the big man raw dude with his big fucking titan axe. He just like jumps off of his bird and just like chops down the flying war machina of the Empire. Like, that scene was weirdly emotional for me for some reason. Just like all of the tribes coming together for this one common purpose. It just felt really good. Yeah, Magni. That's it. I nutted when I got to Doma Castle. Yeah, that's good. Magni from the Guild Little Sun. Magni with the Little Sun title.
But
hey, you know what? Tell you what, everybody makes fun of Magni, right? Everybody likes to make fun of Magni. Oh, it's this big joke. Magni is this big joke. Okay, so let me tell you, everybody that makes fun of Magni, okay? For everybody that makes fun of Magni, how many of you have shot your shot at a bar? Huh? You're at a bar and there's like a pretty lady, and you go over there and you're like, hey, I'd like to buy you a drink. How many of you have ever done that? For all those people that are making fun of Magni. Magni is like, yeah, Y'shtola, let's fuck. And Y'shtola's like, nah. Okay, fine. You know, at least he shot his shot. The man shot his shot. Okay? Say what you want about Magni. The man shot his shot. Okay? I bet like out of like 90% of the people that make fun of Magni, they never shot their shot. Okay? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, dude. It is what it is. No, I'm the lady. Okay, well, there you go. But still, you know, like Fade Whims. I mean, have you seen the cutscene? Have you seen the cutscene where Y'shtola just shoots him down? Like, isn't it to some point better that at least the man shot his shot? At least he took his shot, right? He's like, hey, Y'shtola, I fucking, like, I don't remember exactly what the cutscene plays like, right? But he just kind of like declares that he's like fucking, he's got the hots for her, right? At least he's doing something about it. There's so many dudes out there that will never, ever, like, reveal their true feelings for a woman. Magni just put it all out there. He's like, yeah, let's go. According to Xenos law. God damn, no, he needed a better shot. Okay, hey, but at least he tried, right? At least, listen, you miss every shot you don't take. You miss every shot you don't take. And Magni left nothing on the table. He was ready. Sorry, I'm Team Runar. Nah, dude, nah. I'd rather be Team Magni if that's going to be the option. If the option is between Runar and Magni, like, I'm sorry, Runar strikes me as a bit of a wimp. Runar is a wimp, dude. I'm sorry. Although I do feel like, to be honest though, I kind of feel like Y'shtola tapped that. It's never really, you know, told in the game, but I feel like Y'shtola tapped that. I think she did. She probably took advantage of him too. He's very, very immature. Very immature. Runar is very immature, and I think Y'shtola might have taken advantage of him.
The issue is that in the first 2/3, while the high points are awesome, the pacing is a little bit more rocky. So that's my overall thought as we walk through it. As for points then, I just want to again say I love how they wonderfully represented the plight of the common folk through all of this. I thought that was great. It's just this commitment to actually showing all of the different societies of this game in a way that's believable. You know, in the same way you look at Ul'dah and there's quite a lot going on there and it's interesting. You know, you look at Ishgard. You see a nation with its foundational mythos being challenged and what that actually means for the people who have suffered and bled and died for basically a lie. You see all of these things and in a way that feels authentic. A way that's not just them, you know, Hollywood popcorning their way through these issues and not doing them justice. And I think that's just a strong thing that gives me a lot of faith in this team.
Oh, yeah.
You know, even if it means sacrificing a little smidge of pacing, they are willing to actually make their world feel like a real place. I think that's important.
I think that's a good thing, yeah.
Moving on then. Alphino and Alize, and I'll admit I'm a little bit fucked up because they are humongously going wink, wink, nudge, nudge. What if one of them died in the trailer for Endwalker that just came out? Now, I imagine they're doing that so heavily in the trailer because they're also, you know, they're kind of baiting us and they...
Why are you watching the trailer, Bellular? You're not allowed. You're not allowed. Matt needs to slap you across the face. You're not allowed to watch the trailers, Bellular. What the fuck, dude? What the fuck?
Probably won't do that to those characters because if they were going to kill those characters, I imagine they wouldn't have made the trailer, you know, hint at it so much. But I just really like these two characters. They're great. They're great. Alphino, he has to be protected. I mean, Alize definitely gets in more danger, but, you know, she's got a big sword. I just really like those characters. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, because they're good. They're good fucking characters. That's
really,
why.
Really nice growth with each other and this nice relationship. And it's just that thing. The way that they ingratiate you to Alphino in Heavensward then means that Alize is such a strong character through that well-established relationship with Alphino. So whenever one of them thinks the other one is in danger, you really palpably like feel for them. The writing is great. Lise then. Lise is like, okay. I think she either needed less time and more focus.
It's almost imagine like this. Someone's asking you, hey, what do you think about this friend of yours, John? And you're like, John's okay. It's like, that's not what you want to hear, okay? John's not going to like it if you go like, hey, John's an okay guy, all right? That's not a good thing to say when you're like, yeah, John, he's an okay dude, okay? It's like when you go like, oh, Lise is okay. I don't think that's what Lise is going to like to hear, okay? The least you can do is be honest. She's not okay. All right?
Or more time and more growth. Because there's basically this situation going on where you kind of get where she is, and then they retread the same ground of who she is as a character again and again and again through both the Doma and Alamigo plotlines, and then she's got more rapid growth towards the end. And because of that, I can see why the community is a lot more down on Lise. I would say that in concept, I really like the character and where she's going. I think in execution, she just got hurt by pacing. I think hurt by the pacing not doing the greatest job of highlighting her growth. That said, I don't know what's going to happen in the patches, so maybe I will be surprised.
Yeah.
Overall, then,
she's not in the patches to worry about.
Brilliant moments. A great ending. But
I mean, she is in the patches,
marred with some filler feeling quests,
background.
rough pacing, and a story that...
Hey. Split screen. You're not allowed to watch this. This got Stormblood spoilers.
That is not able to 100% commit to either the Doma or Alamigo plotlines because it just has to juggle between them. I thought it was very, very enjoyable on a conceptual and thematic level. It was often enjoyable on a character level, but I thought that it could struggle experientially outside of its high points because of the pacing. For the other things, I would say dungeons. I think the dungeons are great. I'm really enjoying just seeing more and more and more mechanics.
Dude, Bardam's Metal
and I think
is such a
stage
skip
where
in
the development team started to get just a
spike.
lot more familiar with making great encounters. I've heard a lot of people
messed
say
it up,
that it's really
Bellular.
toward the end of Heavensward content that the team just really codified their like raid and dungeon sort of boss design principles.
Again,
and I can certainly feel that. I thought they were really, really, really fun.
He's gonna mess
I'm
it
still
up
playing
like
the
that.
ninja, by
Boom.
the way. And the ninja I'm still finding to be super fun. Now that said, you will have noticed in this video, my keybinds, I hastily slapped them together. Whoops, I know they are rubbish and
Looking
there is more that I
directly
could
at
be
the
doing.
eye. Yep.
But fundamentally, the whole, just the whole opening, right, of, setting yourself up, using hide, then, your trick.
I'll tell you what, though. Bellular is suffering a little bit from the fact that he played a decent chunk of the game on a controller, and now he's trying to adapt to the keyboard again. And he's struggling. And if he keeps swapping back and forth between them, I don't think that's going to be good for his rotation.
Attack into your bleed, into your dream within a dream, and your assassinate, and then going through all of your ninjutsus and all of that. It's just quite fun. I really enjoy the pacing. That said, I mean, dream within a dream and assassinate being merged. What's also going on with the mudras and stuff in Endwalker, super exciting. I cannot wait. But first, I need to get my keybinds and everything set up again. So,
you get the chicken a lot?
I'm enjoying the gameplay. I'm enjoying the story. And from what I hear, there's a lot of establishment as we reach 4.0. But the 4.0 through 4.5 are basically incredible. So I am super excited. Super, super excited.
4.0 through 4.5.
I'm super excited. There we go.
Stormblood.
There we go. I guess based on what people tell me, I've just completed, I mean, worst is a strong word, but I've just completed the worst bit after A Realm Reborn. And I've enjoyed this decently, like pretty much, yeah. I've massively enjoyed what came before it. And Shadowbringers is apparently the best JRPG of the last decade.
Yep, pretty much.
Damn, what a treat.
It'd be what it'd be.
So there you go. Now, if you want to check out a single-player RPG, we're making one. Our game studio is making one. We revealed it very, very, very recently. Yes, our game, The Pale Beyond, is being published by Fellow Traveler. And you can check out its initial trailer, its reveal trailer, and it is going to be coming out in 2022. So check that out. Any support there would be awesome because I mean, goddamn, it's the dream. It's the dream. Video games from us. Wow. So I'd appreciate that a lot. Other than that, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.
Here it comes, the Bozja. Oh, did he tone it down? They toned it down. I wanted to hear like the one that blasts the speakers. That's the one that matters. What the hell? But yeah, I'm glad the Bellular's still having a good time. Looks like he's getting, he's getting there. He might actually catch up in time for Endwalker, but I kind of feel like he shouldn't. He needs to pace himself. He doesn't want to fucking swallow the Shadowbringers experience. You gotta take it nice and slow. But overall, it's pretty cool to see his experience. He's enjoying it, and yeah. Not to mention, we got to talk about a lot of interesting things during that video as well. What song is that? That is a remix of the Bozja theme.